Hello everyone, and welcome back to another spyware analysis video. And in this video, I will be using my Sysinternal Suites utilities such as Process Explorer and TCP View in order to examine my Adware sample. So the sample today that I will be using for my Adware is going to be downloaded from Malware Bazaar, and in the database, the Adware sample SHA-256 hash value is the one that I've highlighted on my screen. And as you can see, the tags are Adware generic, and then .exe file as well as signed to make it look more legitimate, and it's a Windows executable file as well. So I've already downloaded it over here on my download folder. All I have to do now is extract it. So I'm going to extract this file, and as you can see, I've already extracted this file, and now I'm gonna run this as an administrator. Okay. So we're gonna run this as an administrator and then wait for it to load. Okay, so usually Adware, when we download some Adware, when we use like Adware or when we download any kinds of Adware, it would usually prompt us to download some software with it. But in this case, it's not, so which is quite interesting. But let's see whether our Process Explorer or our TCP View can capture the Adware or not. And I'm just gonna look at the Process Explorer first. Okay, so I'm just gonna let my Process Explorer load for a bit, just so that the virus total and the image verifier is running properly. And as we speak, it has been ran properly. And now let's investigate into it. So I'm potentially looking at the virus total right now, as well as the process that are running behind the system. So I just want to see the process that are highlighted in red. So we're gonna move down slowly. Okay, we found one here that's called LavaSoft Software Canada Inc, and it's under the it's also a .exe file. Yep, it's a .exe file, and the file path is program files. So it's running in the program files. We're gonna go down a bit, and this Adware is quite interesting because it doesn't give you the it's not running under its hash value. Rather, it's running under the web companion. But if you go back to our download folder that we have downloaded, that we've got our Adware from, it actually doesn't have web companion name in it. It's just the file description. So that's quite interesting how it named itself. And let's look at the virus total score. So the virus total score here is relatively low, which is 7 out of 73, but still flagged as malicious. And we're just gonna look at the details of it. So the file type is Windows executable file, and it does have, it's being signed by LavaSoft Software Canada Inc, just to make it look more legit. It also has a digital certificate stamp as well, and we can double check that in our Process Explorer. And as you can see, it's being verified as well, which is quite interesting, because if we are to just look at this image signature, then they could easily get away with it without having to look at the virus total. So let's look at its properties. So first I'm going to look at its image. So this suspicious process is named as web companion.exe, and as we can see here in the image tab, this file is also signed by a company called LavaSoft Software Canada Inc, which is often associated with Adware, as I mentioned before. We also notice that this process is running from the following part, which is the program files, which is quite strange because we didn't let that part. We were running it from our download folder. That's where we executed it from. Another interesting point is the command line here, used to execute the file or the program. It includes the after update flag, indicating that the software is likely running some setup or background process post installation. This process is typical. This behavior is typical of Adware, which often installs silently and runs in the background without the user's knowledge. We can also see at the auto start location that this process is configured to start automatically through this path, and this means that the Adware will launch every time the system starts, ensuring it stays active. So the image tab here tells us a lot about this file. Now let's look at our environment. Okay, so this environment variables give us a deeper look at how the process is interrogated into the system and user environment. And here we can see that the web companion is running under the user profile name called Yasuke, as you can see right here as well. And then there's one right here. File path is Yasuke, and it interacts with typical window directories like program files and user app data local temp. This type of interaction with user directories is common for Adware, as these directories are easily accessible by applications but often overlooked by the user. And furthermore, the most interesting part is the temp directory. It is often used by spyware or malware to temporarily store files or data, and in this case Web Companion is using app data /local/temp directory for temporary files, which could include logs or configurations or even additional payloads. So the environment has told us a lot about this file as well. So now let's look at the threads. Okay, so threads represent individual tasks or actions that the process is executing. Here we see a specific thread started by Web Companion, and it's interacting with various system DLLs like ntdll .dll and krill.dll, which is right here. Both of which are essential Windows components. So this behavior suggests that while the process appears idle, it is actively interacting with the system, and this kind of interaction might be harmless in a legitimate application, but in the case of Adware, it often impels resource usage to display ads or track users' behavior. Okay, now let's analyze the DLLs that have been loaded by the Web Companion. So I'm just going to go DLL. I'm just going to go find DLL and just going to copy the name of this executable file. So we're just gonna go copy, and then over here we're gonna paste it and then go search so that it gives us the DLL. There's a shortcut way to do it as well. You could click on this companion file and then go here and then look at all the handles and the DLL. So we're looking at the DLL first. So as we can see over here on the DLL, most of the DLL are being flagged, and then the signatures are from Lavasoft Software Company, which is based in Canada. Okay, so we got some few. Okay, one is 1 out of 7. Oh, we got 7 out of 78 as well over here. 1 out of 78. Okay, so we got some few malicious file in our DLL as well. Okay, so as we can see, this process has loaded libraries related to both Windows and the Lavasoft software itself. For example, it's loaded kernel. It's loaded the kernel 32 as well as the advape32.dll and masquerade.dll, which are core system libraries, and these are legitimate files, but Adware often loads this to perform tasks like running background service or executing functions related to user interaction. And notice the Lavasoft specific DLLs that I've highlighted here, and there is some right here as well. Okay, so this one right here, this indicates that the adware includes functionality like blocking ads or interacting with web content, which aligns with typical adware behavior. And also looking at the virus total scores, some of these DLLs, one specific right here where I've got 7 out of 78. Okay, this one right here has a score of, has been flagged by 7 out of 78. 7 out of 78 score of virus totals, signaling that this adware component is potentially unwanted or malicious. And if we go back to our web companion properties and then see whether it's interacting with any of the local servers, over here on our process explorer, it doesn't really specify that it's connecting or it's connected to a remote server, but we can just double confirm this by checking our TCP view. So we're just gonna load our TCP view and then run this as an administrator. And okay, so we have loaded our TCP view, and what we are currently looking for is, I'm gonna just close the UDP address just so that it doesn't go all the way down. So as you can see in the TCP view, it doesn't really look very suspicious to me. So, but I'm going to be checking the local address. Okay, so these ones all look legitimate from here up until here, since they're all using the same port number. Okay, so this adware is not necessarily, or is not connected to any of the remote servers, or is not having any connections with any of the remote servers as well. So in conclusion, while this particular Adware sample isn't currently communicating with remote server, it still poses a risk. It's set to auto start on system boot. It interacts with system directories and loads suspicious DLLs linked to unwanted behaviors such as ad blocking and content modification. And we didn't detect any remote communications in this case, but adware doesn't always need to communicate externally to be harmful. It could be affecting your browsing experience, slowing down your system, or collecting user data locally. So to wrap things up, this demo video, I hope this demo video can help us, has helped you dig down into process like web companion. And by investigating its properties, environment, threats, and loaded DLLs, we've gained a lot more insight into the nature of the software, even if it's not actively connected to remote servers. And adware may not always be as overt as traditional spyware or malware, but it can still significantly affect system performance and user privacy. And also regularly scanning and investigating process using tools like Process Explorer or Malware Bytes is an essential step in keeping your system clean and secure. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the videos posted by our other members.